Well, it's been a while. It's been coming. But I am playing my favorite game ever. If you ask me what my favorite video game ever is, this is it. I have been playing this game since I was 5 years old. I fell in love with it then. I never really fell out of love with it. I've beat it hundreds of times. I'll probably beat it hundreds of times more. I intend to beat it again today. Well, not today, but this recording. Well, not this recording, but this series. And yeah, it seems like I'm playing a little bit sloppy, and that's probably because I am. It's the first level, I can take the hits. But yeah, this is actually, like, this wasn't requested by anyone per se. This is just me playing something that I enjoy. Just because I had so much fun with Rockman 4 Minus Infinity that I'm just gonna stick with games I like. So, this is the Guardian Legend. And you're playing as this weird anime girl who's also a spaceship named Miria. And they actually had some really awesome artwork of her on the cover of the Japanese version, which we never got. And this is the first boss, which is not as hard or intimidating as it actually looks. Man, it has actually been a while since I last played this game. But this is the kind of difficulty and the kind of stuff you're gonna see throughout. It gets pretty ridiculous later on, but basically this first video is just gonna be a little bit of the start of the game. I'm not gonna do any half-hour, well, I don't know about half-hour, but I'm definitely not gonna do any hour-and-a-half long monsters like my last gaming video was, because let's face it, that was ridiculous. And it made the happy little one-up noise because I scored 30,000 points, so my health gauge got longer. If someone is reading this, I must have failed. This starred Naju was our home, but we were invaded by evil life forms. Everyone except me was killed. I'm going to try to activate the self-destruct device. If I fail, I would like you to do this task so this cannot happen to any other race. The self-destruct mechanism is protected by a safety device, which is located in the underground corridors. Remove each seal and go deep inside Naju. If you destroy all 10 safety devices, the self-destruct sequence will be activated. I don't have much time. I hope this message will not be read by anyone. It will mean that I have failed. Well, that's depressing, but that's how the game goes. See, I'm this anime woman now. But this game is equal parts, you know, shooter game. It's got some Zelda-ish stuff. It's got some RPG-ish stuff. I am the brightly flashing, flickering red lamp, and the little white lamp on the map with the red center is where I need to go. There are 10 corridors that are linked to the end of the game. There's actually 21 or 22 corridors to be official. And you can count what I just went through as Corridor 0. And these are the weird little doors, and there's nothing here right now. Yet. And a lot of people would go instantly for, you know, Corridor number 1, but then they'd miss out on all of these. And these are just, they're power-ups. They have weapons that you can equip, or bonuses to your max health, or max chips. Chips act as two things in this game. They are both ammunition for your special weapons, and in a lot of cases, they're also treated as money. You start out being able to carry 50 of them. If you play your cards right and find all the bonuses, you'll be able to carry 4,000. And that is the Redlander alien. He's a happy little guy, and when you pick him up, he increases the amount of chips you can carry. And he also plays the very happy little one-up noise. But when you start the game... Oh, I'm gonna stop and explain this. You're gonna notice I'm actually gonna stand right here in the wall, because more often than not, what ends up happening with these bosses is they can't go through the walls. This time it can. However, the starting bosses are kind of trivial. You'll also notice that when I have 100 chips, my shots are different. That also progresses clear through to the 4,000 mark. And look at all this stuff that I'd have missed if I hadn't actually went looking for it. Every power-up in this game happens to give you health in some way, which is good, because later on in the game you're going to need it. A lot. But it's just a safe bet to just kind of skirt around the outside, because everything you kill is worth points, and points are XP in this game. However, there's this amusing little glitch where if you score 9,999 or 9,999,990 points and then score further, the game freezes. So you don't want to go too nuts with the joke. And I know there's like one other thing here. Yes. Some bosses, like I said, can't go through the walls. Other bosses can. This boss, you want to be right in here, go nuts, because he's a worm, he tunnels, and then he brings out one little spider. This game does the old Nintendo tradition of recoloring sprites often to signify that it's a harder version. When you get to the hardest version of this boss, it lets out like 15 of the things. That can be troublesome. And what did you reward me? Oh, that's the Blue Lander alien. He's gonna make the happy one-up noise and lengthen my health gauge. So, a little bit of exploring, and you're already so much more powerful than you were. And now we're actually gonna go back towards the beginning here. That's a big Blue Lander alien. He owns the shop. You're gonna see him a lot. And if I had 500 power chips, I would buy that, because chips are replenishable easily. I wish I could buy these. I can't yet. But I will soon. And then we're gonna go this way. And this is the best item, one of the best. This increases the speed of which that I fire. I can get like 6 of them, I think. Aw, I can't afford that big Blue Lander alien. I can't afford this one. And then I'll have to come back for this one. But it's not a big deal, because there's a couple of tricks. A couple of very cool tricks that you can do. Ah! This is how you save, and by save, I mean you get one of these. It's a 32-character password that involves letters, numbers, uppercase, lowercase, punctuation. It was ridiculous. But I'm also going to let the password music play for a little bit, because I just really, really dig it. Okay, that's enough of that. Now, the reason why I wasn't too freaked out about using up those chips... BAM! Now, I did say I'd explain a trick. I will attempt to explain the trick, if I can do it without destroying everything. Okay. Cool. Now see how I have these cornered like this? Listen carefully, because this is the sound effect for picking one up. Now listen. That's a weird little glitch that allows you to pick up like 10,000 of those things infinitely, until you're full up on health, on chips. If you can finesse a diagonal like that, it is a lifesaver. It is everything back. And I'm going to pick up this weapon because it is going to be the weapon I want for the corridor that I'm actually going to now. Ow. I had all the corridors sealed. If you need to know how to remove the seal, ask the person who sealed it. To remove the seal at corridor number 1, fire at the gate. All the rooms leading to the corridors are locked, so use the warp panel to get into the room. To use the warp panel, blast through the cover. You'll also need the key for the panel. You get the keys later on. But that's one of the fun parts, is that every one of those corridors, the main major corridors for the storyline, are locked, and you have to do something to unlock them. And there's a different thing for each of the 10. First one's simple enough. Point yourself at it and start firing. And moreover, you think, oh, I'm gonna skip. No. See that moon? It means it's locked with a key. So, and then all of a sudden, we hop in the corridor. We're back to the ship style of play. I loved this as a kid. I could not get over it. I thought it was amazing. And this one starts out relatively easy. It's not meant to be hard. It's meant to be an introduction. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can still die. When you see an enemy kind of explode into like a really bright, vibrant, flickering explosion, it means it's going to spawn an item box. This is good. You need to be where that explosion lands, because then you can blast open the box and pick up the goodies inside. In this case, some health. As long as you have some shield left, which is represented by the blue bar, you won't die if you get hit. However, if you're brought to 0 and then you're hit again, that's when you're killed. You can persist on 0 shield all you want. It's when that hit happens. That's when it's bad. That sound you just heard was me picking up a full health tank. It's not really that big of a deal now, because blue chips give me about 20 chips and like half a point of life. Red chips vary dependent on how far I am in the game and give me 2 points of life. Hearts give me 5 points of life. And the full health tanks give me 32. I don't think you can get above 32 by conventional legit means, and I wasn't even paying attention, and I just flew right past that red chip. And like I said, this seems simple and maybe even a little boring. The game starts out slow, but then it just starts getting brutal and ridiculous and hates you. Some chips would be nice, game, man. Please? This is a good weapon. It uses up a lot of chips, though. Not really, but when your max is 100, it is a lot. And this weapon's so powerful, you're only allowed to have 2 shots on the screen. Oop. We're gonna use this one. Done. I should have done that with the first view. Oh yeah, this is like Weapon Zero in Zanuck. And if a lot of the sound effects sound the same from this and Zanuck, it's because it's made by the same company. There we go. And now I think it's actually the boss. Yep, it slowed down. And this is a boss that spits out these little, like, shrimp-shaped friggin' homing missiles. This version isn't too bad. The second version is a little trickier because it's faster and more aggressive and shoots out more missiles at a time, but at the same time, it's still just not that big of a threat. And look at me, I'm already done. And I got a key! And it blows up the corridor, and I receive a bonus weapon, which is great. So that was, and you're going to notice that since I have the key, 3 more corridors open up. If there's only 10 corridors, then I'm going to be through this game quickly, right? Well, we'll go over that next time we come around. For now, I'm going to go ahead and save. And note that that is the only time I used a save state. It will be the only time I use save states. That was the first episode of my favorite game ever, and when I come back, it gets better. Thanks for watching.